Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, and welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. I know some of you guys are like saying, what the hell happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. I moved and got myself a brand new office. Yes, brand new office and residency. So while I've been out here, I've been thankful. So let us give thanks this morning. Not like this with your hands closed and makes you a slave. Definitely not like this when you know full well that you are about to get caught doing something really ridiculous like being a racist. But more so humility. I thank Jah for my early morning rise and good health, for his ability, and of course his tenaciousness to make sure that I have opportunities that I can succeed from at his bequest. To help those who cannot help themselves and show that self-reliance does matter, but most importantly to show that our enemies, that we do have a little bit of compassion even though they deserve a patada in the culo. Yeshua Jesus Christ, due the 227th day after the throne of Jah himself, King Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari. And the dragon of the mountain is awoke. You know what that means, people. You know what that means. That means, residents, dissidents, rioters, revolutionaries, and people who still can't put on their pants correctly in the morning. Welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. Black side. Oh, yeah. And I'm looking for a gun. Of course I am. Rock and roll superstars like y'all. Good morning and welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. I am your host with the most. That's right, people. The man from the left coast to the right coast, from the north to the south, the irrepressible mountain. Following now on beat now. The G to the R to the I to the D to the Z is SD, all the way on top of the mountain, on top beneath the floor of the freeway. All day. Your freak on the peak who's about to speak, and if you don't open up your mind, I'll give you something to think about for the rest of the week. Yes. Anyway, so we're in our new location, still getting some bugs, you know, pretty much like whapped out here, but you know, it is what it is, and we try and do our best here. Considering that in many cases that I don't know if this actually is going to work, or this lighting situation I got going on here is like sketchy at best. Oh God. Okay, hopefully this will work. If that, okay. I don't have my normal amount of sunshine that comes through the house or anything of that nature right about now. We're still working on the lighting end of it. So if anything, I'll probably put some forward-looking lights here, if anything. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get on down, babies. Let's get on down and into this here show. You got 11 days, people. February 15th is around the corner. And therefore, that means only one thing. Do we worry about a shutdown, or do we worry about how it's going to go down? Now, many of you out there, okay, many of you, doesn't have to be few, but many of you, are below the scrotum pole of the poverty line. Guess what? I'm here to pretty much put a little right in your day. It's gonna thumbtack. And today's spit is lovingly called tricolor polar bear messes without toilet paper. Yeah. Gonna be wiping up this one for a minute. Anyway, let's start with the first wipe up. Okay? And this comes from out of our news agency, what we call, you know, the Daily Beast. Now, keep in mind, people, what I do here is I bring up what is known as satirical social commentary upon the news items and articles that you're going to be here for the rest of the day. Offering the subjection of this, I only offer your ability to make an opinion. And if you can make an opinion about it, then 9 times out of 10, you know exactly what's going on. All right? So, let's take a look at this real quick. All right, here it is. We know that State of the Union is coming up, right? We know that State of the Union. You know it's going to be scripted, right? And we know that at some point or another, Cheeseburger is going to wind up going off script. So, lawmakers invited these undocumented immigrants as their guests. Will ICE show up too? Now, this is very interesting. I mean, here's the guy who's basically giving a presidential State of the Union address when he has been an hardliner for like immigration policy. Yet still, he goes about breaking the law not once, not twice, but 3 to 4 damn different times. So the State of the Union address is going to be very interesting, considering that this bozo will probably like sniff his way all the way through the speech. Anyway, Victoria Morales, and this is how the story goes, people, keep up with me, all right? Victoria Morales, an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala seeking asylum in the United States, has risked deportation by immigration authorities for the past 19 years. Ooh, okay. Now Morales plans to enter the United States Capitol to show a cheeseburger that she intends to stay no matter what he pledges in his address to Congress. Honey, let me give you something real quick. All right, first of all, you're dealing with a belligerent New Yorker who has white nationalism plastered all over his candidacy, and right about now he's sitting in the White House with some explosive people who want to commit murder against people of color all the way around the world. It does not matter, okay? You're just as much as in danger being there as anything else. But then again, cute and stupid just don't pay the bills now, does it? Check this out. So on Tuesday night, Morales has spent more than 5 of those years working at Cheeseburger's New Jersey Golf Club. Now, when I make reference to Cheeseburger, we all should know who this is. This is the man with the tiny hands, okay? He sniffs, he snorts, he goes off script, and he doesn't impact the facts, but what he retorts, okay? We're talking about the pee-pee man. Then where's the videotape at with your Russian colluded prostitutes? Swimming in somebody's pee, man. What's wrong with you? Sounds just like you just came out of the New Jersey Harbor or Hudson Bay, whatever. Nasty, straight nasty, people. Straight nasty. Straight nasty. Okay? But then again, he is your commander-in-chief, your master of stress and mess. You know him as your president. Cheese. Burger, 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 burger. Cheeseburger. Ah! Nasty. Nasty ass cheeseburger. And I'll say this about 1 billion freaking times. Who cares? All right? So it's going to be that night where Morales is going to sit there and she's going to basically be joining on the cheeseburger's State of the Union mess that he's made, and he's going to own up to it, and he's going to turn it into a win for him, in which people are going to sit there and say, wow, that's our president. That's our idiot in charge. Bravo! All right? So on Tuesday night, Morales spent more than 5 of those years working at Cheeseburger's New Jersey Golf Club. Will join the undocumented immigrants at the State of the Union address as guest members of Congress in light of the recent sting operations by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, as a part of Cheeseburger's sustained crackdown on immigration. The senators and representatives who invited undocumented immigrants to the Capitol were not taking any chances with the security of their charges. So that means they can just set them up for all kinds of crap. You can see them leaving out of the White House, but how many of them will actually make it to a van that says ICE on it? Come on, Cheeseburger broke the law. Not only has he broke the law with grandfathering in his shaved down Bigfoot wife's freaking parents who are just about as old as he is, but also she had an acre baby with this nutcase, okay? This is Mr. Grab him by the pussy no matter where he goes. He's absolved from all kinds of crimes. There's no collusion. It's a witch hunt. Blah, blah, freaking blah. And you know something? The American public, all 30% of you, take charge of this man's life by acknowledging that he is doing good for the country. Really. How many people are actually working 2 to 3 jobs just to say you're working full time? These are part-time hours, mind you. How many of you are actually temps working in those positions that you know that if you had a job there, you would be working full time? Or how many of you are actually working for Starbucks who are getting free health care when Medicare for all should not even be a subject? It should be a right for human decency as a part of our human rights to be in existence of this stupid planet we sit on, that we're parasitic of everything that we do here. Okay? Who takes and never makes? All right? I can point this out very easy between two divided lines here, but let's just say for the sake of argument that humanity has its biggest error ever. Right? So, what kind of errors are we talking about here? Well, as we all know, ICE is in the house. Now, I find this story a little unusual because, for one thing, you have to be completely, unconscionable on both ends of the spectrum. Now, keep in mind, people, that ICE is looking for, people of color. The ICE is looking for mainly illegal aliens coming in from the south of the border. It's all about, there's perpetration and penetration through the border and blah, 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 and they're coming here with drugs, guns, and whatnot, and they're going to frighten everybody from Texas all the way up to Minnesota, where we're robbing people out of eminent domain. This is your government speaking to you. This is your government actually telling you to be scared of every freaking thing they do. To submit to fear is to submit to a dictator who has no objections to ruining your life. Okay? Don't worry, I'm going to get to that Maduro thing in a minute. ICE agents from BuzzFeed arrest 21 Savage, saying he is a British citizen and that his visa had expired. 21 Savage, huh? From Britain, huh? Walking around with all kinds of tattoos. You look like a Mickey Mouse map drawn out of crayon that had a bad accident. Yeah, I'm talking about you, bub. Okay? Even though Ariana Grande, never all of them, like, stop with the immigration jokes. Here's a basically interesting story about how immigration coming from the south of the border is actually scaring the crap out of people. All right? ICE officers arrested 21 Savage on Sunday, claiming the Atlanta-based rapper from the UK and his visa, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and the AP, said that he was taken into custody in a targeted operation. 21, whose real name is Shala bin Abraham Joseph, was described by the spokesperson as an unlawfully present United Kingdom national who entered the United States in July of 2005 on a visa that expired a year later. 21 claimed to be from Atlanta and has long been considered a local in the city's expansive list of rappers. He performed in Atlanta on Thursday at the Super Bowl Music Fest at State Farm Arena. Okay, Super Bowl Music Fest. Not the Super Bowl, where whoever that was rapping sounded like Morse code. So as far as freedom of speech is concerned, when it comes to music, especially hip-hop music, look like y'all fell off the ladder there. Versace, all this good stuff. I hear all this good stuff about, don't chide the young rappers for what they are. Savage 21, my good man, you did not come from south of the border. You flew in illegally. You stayed illegally. And now they're deporting your ass legally. Obviously, you didn't think it would affect you because you thought you was above that rafter, didn't you? ICE representative told AJC and the AP that he has been placed in deportation proceedings. 21 attorney John LaPlante told TMZ that the team is working on authorities to clear up the misunderstanding. What misunderstandings? First and foremost, people, let's get this right, all right? Cheeseburger has alienated the UK, he has alienated Europe, he has alienated half the damn world. We didn't go to the Paris Accord, so you guys are complaining about, ice and snow all over the freaking place. Thank you, Cheeseburger. Okay? Canada, you're not much better at this particular point because you went to the Paris Accord citing that you would want, clean air and clean water, but yet still you're going to promote on the backside of it industry that is going to, tamper, if not ruin, a lot of Native American, not of native lands, indigenous lands altogether that have been there long before you showed up. We're talking 5, 6, 10,000 years in the books. And all of a sudden, white rule just comes in and says, we're going to take your land and have oil come right through here. Pretty much the same thing on this stupid-ass American coup that we got going on with Argentina. Yes, it's a coup, people. Wake up and smell the freaking coffee. All right? It's a coup. Any other way you want to shape it is a coup. All right? And if you don't believe it, you'll learn about that on our audio docs. But then again, it is unconscionable. and unconscionable that us, the United States, the greatest country in the world, would go to such lengths to secure not only our borders, but also raid, pillage, and destroy other nations for their resources. As I said, 7 years ago, we were running straight into resource wars at a slower pace, more quickly than we would go chasing after terrorists who had nothing to do with 9/11. Wow. Okay, so here it is. Okay. How about this? From out of Politico. Unconscionable. GOP Senate Homeland Security Chair torches cheeseburger Syria policy. Why? Republican chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee on Sunday torched the cheeseburger administration's plans for a complete withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria, saying the exodus of American soldiers from the region would be tragic and unconscionable. Wasn't it the same idiot who sat there and says, "We have defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS. They're no more a problem"? He's the same idiot who sat there and said that Russia is a fine country. I don't see why they would do things like that. And more or less the same idiot who sat there and said, "Oh, we will sleep better knowing that we have disarmed Korea." Okay? If you are intent on believing 8,256 lies from our imperial jackass, then obviously you love living those lies. Here we go. ISIS, quote-unquote, was able to rise from the thoroughly defeated ashes of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and I don't want to be making the same statement 6 months from now when we bugged out of Syria unwisely, and that ISIS has reemerged from the defeated ashes of ISIS in Syria. Okay? Come on, people. All right, first of all, you can't defeat ideology. It is mere words. When ideology is put into practice by people who have nothing else left to grab onto, then you have entrenchment of those ideals. They become an embattlement. They become odes, if not, dare I say, constitutional leverages against the supreme beings that oppress the people. Those in the elite status know full well that if they suppress the poor, they got them. That's what it's all about running the world. Suppress the poor, have them driven before you, hear the lamenting of women, and drive everybody into slavery, right? What Conan the Barbarian garbage is this? That's not America. That's not even world politics. That is just systematic obliteration of the poor as we know it. And we're proud to do it. Yes, we are. We're proud to do it. Our sanctions, our trade wars, everything that we do does not help the poor whatsoever. And when it comes back on our asses for it, then everybody got to be, well, I don't believe that this is going to. We're going to stick with Cheeseburger because he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's going to save America. I don't know how many of those Johnny Weissmuller white man say the world technique garbage movies you've been watching. But obviously, he's not doing that. He's not saving anybody but his own ass. His own ass. He doesn't care if his kids are in problem or got any legal problems. He does not even care if his stepkids, the ones that married into the family, got problems. Jared Kushner exclusively. Steve Miller exclusively. John and Eric exclusively. I mean, come on. When the IRS and the government fined Cheeseburger's dad and Cheeseburger for making less of a contribution into what we would call Black History Month, they got fined by the government for HUD violations, for discrimination of not letting black people actually live in any of their apartments back in the day. So if you really, really believe in your white nationalism, trust and believe, you have a reason to do so. But if you obviously suspect that this Congress, this administration, and this jackass who's running the country on bad deal policies, and can't make a deal to do nothing but just fluff and fly. Man, this is worse than a 3-shell game with no nuts underneath. And you're falling for it, America. You're falling for it. That's all right. Stupid ass and stupid does, and stupid and cute don't pay no freaking bills on my books. Here it is. All right, here it is. My man, okay? Senator Ron Johnson goes on to say to Republicans to back the measure by Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who is also a racist as always, on Thursday that rebuked the president's Syria policy in a bipartisan vote. I think Republican senators are sending a very strong signal to the president. We don't want to see that happen. I hope he's listening. Johnson said, warning that as it relates to pulling out of Syria, there's pretty serious split in terms of foreign policy and military strategy. Foreign policy is something that Cheeseburger does not know, but military strategy, he has absolutely none whatsoever. I don't care if he spent 3 months in West Point being some graduate flunky whose father bought his doggone papers out of there. I mean, come on. If he actually went through a military school, don't you think he would have some sort of like cognizant fact that he is not that great of a freaking leader? He was never a platoon leader. He was never anyone who actually went into the service because of bone sprints. The only bone splints that are coming from out of him right now are the ones that are painted yellow on his back. Okay, straight up and down. Johnson also encouraged the president to heed the objections of former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and Brett McCurk, the former top U.S. envoy overseeing the efforts to defeat the Islamic State terrorist network. Both officials resigned in December, in part because of the planned troop drawdown. So Cheeseburger made one of those campaign promises that he could not deliver, and he loses the people that he says he has smart people. He has a beautiful team of people to help him administrate all of his wishes that are borderline white nationalist rhetoric. Okay, so here we are again, people. Another flop in Cheeseburger's arsenal of, I will do for this country what no other president will do, but I will have my ass laughed at by every member of the union. Okay? Wow. You guys are brilliant. You guys are freaking brilliant. I tell you, it is just total brilliant. It is total brilliancy. Total brilliancy. But that brilliancy does not go far. Because there are two things that are sitting in Trump administration right about now that are taking the pickles and the ketchup off of the damn bread and making sure that the cheese is halfway soggy with ammonia D. Who else would that ammonia be when you have the most snake-fisted person in the entire administration not only taking bullets but also firing back cannonballs, and somehow one of those cannonballs happened to hit what is known as a rubber band slingshot and is sent straight toward Kentucky, as its own leadership is nothing more than a racist paragon of indigenous accuracies. Time magazine. Photo of Mitch McConnell in front of a Confederate flag resurfaces amid Northam yearbook controversy. Wow, Wreck-It Ralph is spreading fast, ain't it? But then again, Florida had that same problem. They had oh my goodness, a guy that was running for governor who pretty much put up a bus for immigrants that he was going to drive himself all the way down to Mexico and deport them himself. Shotguns and everything. Yeah, that's right. Ye freaking ha! Yeah. So much for history here, all right? So, here it is in time. In the midst of ongoing controversy over racist photographs on Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's medical school yearbook page, a photograph of Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell posing in front of a Confederate flag is making rounds on social media. Come on, people. Come on, all right? From the Heritage Foundation all the way down to, you know, just riding around with a rebel flag on your truck, you're a bunch of fucking idiots. Plain and simple, all right? You are celebrating a heritage of losers. You're celebrating a heritage of whiners. You're also celebrating a heritage of racists, being racist after the fact that you lost the war and decided to form the KKK, which, needless to say, allows you that particular type of heresy to describe yourselves as Americans. You are not even close to it. If anything, you are nothing more than white-born terrorists. All right? Let's get it right, right-wing media. You're breeding freaking terrorists all day long. But you don't want to call them terrorists. No, they're not people of color. Oh, dear. And then when you look at the leadership of these terrorists, you know full well that these jackasses are nothing more than hodgepodge racists. Come on. Mitch McConnell held up the government along with Cheeseburger for 35 freaking days, and y'all just sitting up there saying, oh, well, you know, it's over with. But guess what? A lot of your Republican leadership doesn't want to pay you guys, any of you federal workers, any type of back pay whatsoever. Why? Because they know by February 15th they're going to run out of money, and therefore you're going to be held hostage. Watch. Again, with the hostage taking. What is wrong with this white terrorism that's existing, and it's being shown from all echelons, from the top to the bottom? Kind of quirky if you ask me. So, the photograph of Cocaine Mitch, which apparently shows the senator posing in front of a large Confederate flag, has previously surfaced in 2015 according to Snopes. The photograph was allegedly taken at the Sons of Confederate Veterans event in the early 90s. Sons of Confederate Veterans. Sons of losers. Sons of bitches. Sons of bastards. King of all bastards. Queens of all bastards. Crybabies. Okay? Nothing but crybabies. You're following the dictations of a loser like Hitler and Mein Kampf. You're going to exactly mind yourselves into that same loser paradigm. You're going to shift yourself right into it. And get this, it gets even funnier. It gets totally funny. Okay? Totally funny. When you know full well that you are white terrorist. You're not white supremacist anymore. You're white terrorist. You lost the right to have supremacy to your name, even if you want an ethno state that's dwindling by 2050. I mean, come on, diversity works, but if you're not into diversity, then I'm gonna steal your wife. Later on, photograph of McConnell has regained traction on social media in the past few days, in part spurred by the controversy of Northrup's photograph. Some users on Twitter cited that the photograph was an example of Republican hypocrisy in condemning the Democratic governor alleged photograph while apparently being soft on racism within their own party. Oh, so what the hell? We all know what Ralph Northam did. Wrecking Ralph was wrecking it. And they're calling for his head right about now. They really are. They're systematically calling for his head. Last round on the first page here, people. New York Times, Ralph Northam rose quickly to become Virginia governor. He could fall even faster. 12 hours ago here, people, from out of the New York Times, as they call it. Now, the night of his election in 2017 as governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, Wreck-It Ralph, spoke of America's racial fault lines, which he said were exacerbated by the White House and had inflamed his own contest. Virginia has told us to end the divisiveness, that we will not condone hatred and bigotry, and to end the politics that we have in this country apart, that torn this country apart. It's going to take a doctor to heal our differences. Really? Really? Dude, you're standing there in freaking blackface. All right, come on. You're trying to mimic me, your better portion, your better half, okay? So, Northam, now 59, now tweeters precariously on the top rung of the political ladder, as he has ended in just 10 years, aided by his biography as a pediatrician, an army officer, and a rural Virginian in a state where Democrats have little strength outside of cities and suburbs. But, unfortunately, homeboy came up with the blackface. It was in his yearbook, and now he is retracting, he's redacting, he's apologizing, and he's sitting up there telling everybody, it was all in the past. Forget the past. Let the past be the past. That seems to be the #1 mantra for a bunch of fools. It is. Because if you don't understand your past, how are you going to be able to see your future? How are you ever going to, I mean, come on. That tomorrow is today crap does not exist until you understand what you're seeing in the future of tomorrow. And tomorrow is not defined by today. It is defined by what we proved. It is defined by our actions of what we have done in the past. Okay? So if you're walking around with the Bill Cosby moniker of like, it was 20 some odd 30 years ago. Cosby sitting in jail. R. Kelly fitting to go to jail. Just about everybody that's basically black that's a pedophile or a rapist or a sexual assaulter is going to jail while many of their white counterparts are getting it easy. Isn't that right? So you mean to tell me this Virginia Democratic jackass who had a Mitch McConnell past are going to ride this out and say the people will forgive me and everybody will go back to doing what they were normally doing, making sure that you're not being deleted or being replaced as it is in Virginia, as it is in Boston, as it is in every other state that promotes white supremacy. or has a hidden agenda for it. And therefore, their white supremacists are just doing an amped up job these days. Come on, you got your politicians, you got your doggone Supreme Court nominees in there. What more do you want? Oh, that's right, you want a complete state where it is all white. That's not the truth, then why are the killings of unarmed black people still happening? If that is not the truth, then how come there's more tormenting of immigrants crossing the border, some being shot, some being killed, some being deprived? If that's not the case, then how is it that when there are white supporters of immigrants who are leaving water and provisions in the desert for these people to come through because they know it's an arduous journey, what are we to fear other than what you promote? And if you're promoting based on some sort of, I don't know, David Duke rhetoric that just falls out of your mouth because you think it's right, and you got nationalism spread all over your political base, and obviously there's a lot of people out there that ain't starving to death off those damn mayonnaise sandwiches. Ugh. Halfway point, people. Y'all know what we've been doing up here. It's KTNG Morning Show. That's right. We love you. We love you. But most importantly, we got to let you know what we're doing up here. If you're on YouTube, hit that like and that subscribe button. Keep us running. Also have a Patreon page too for the EBT Ghetto Chef. Look that up as well. You can find us under YouTube Live, streaming live. Much Love by Job, the KTNG Morning Show. You know, that sort of thing. And also, you can view this later and put up comments if you wish, or tell me what you're missing so I can fill in the holes. Now, as we zip on out of there, we see that you can join the Convo live on Facebook, but Facebook has been inoperative with us for this last couple of days. So therefore, become a subscriber or become a supporting member at the $20 level. You can also get our books here, The Iron Tree. Great, great book on perseverance and survival. You can get our mug also, Happier Than a Big Bowl of Oranges, one of the first publications, and The Art of Eve for all of you incels out there that have lost control of your women folk. Okay? Know what a yellow envelope is. If you don't know what a yellow envelope is, then you got to read the book because I'm not about to tell you. There. Ha 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 ha. Back on track radio, baby. This is KTNG, 860am.org, Unified Community Broadcasting, talk soul radio for all the Colorado Springs in the world. 500,000 people around the world loved what we do and hear how we do it. So this is to let you know where we're going. Now on to some other things of interest. Yes, some other things of interest that kind of disturbed me this morning, or any other time of the day when I find out that in many cases, people themselves have some interesting, oh wow, I got basically, oh yeah, okay, cool. We'll deal with that on another portion. All right, cool. So, now that we know that 21 Savage is going to get booted out of the country, at least now we know he didn't come by the border. No, hell no, he came by airplane and just kept on staying. Now, that kind of like, you know, says a lot. It says a lot to the fact that, you know, people can actually get like lifted up out of here. Cheeseburger's keeping his promise. He doesn't want no brown terrorist or anybody that's darker than a latte to come through here. Speaking of which, I don't know of any other, I don't know if America's ready for another billionaire to run for president who's going to wind up helping Cheeseburger win the nomination for 2020 again. And if he does win 2020, guess what happens, people? He winds up getting his way. He winds up getting blocked. Come on, we still haven't seen Jackass's tax returns. So if Nancy Pelosi can pull hers out like from last year, oh, then there should be a stretch for him getting his tax returns right in front of us. If not, then guess what? We've been sold a bad bill of goods, people. And y'all are going to keep on believing that man is doing his righteous thing when he is not righteous himself. Now, when it comes to our immigrants, our immigrant friends and whatnot who are struggling between a death zone, a death march, and quite possibly an attack, an invasion attack against them. It's not that they're invading the country. I mean, if they were invading, wouldn't you think they would have came up with some 6x, some planes, some tanks, or something like that That sounds like an invading force. That's what an invasion is. An invasion force is there of people coming into your country to take over by a military means. Okay? But when it's children and women who are mostly in the caravans that are coming up here, and men who are basically tired of trying to like survive or hang on to whatever family they have left over in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, and Central America all together, in which we, the United States, made a mess of. Okay, we put MS-13 down there. Okay, and now we're sitting up there saying, well, you know, we got to do something with it. Okay, now we're starting to move from that point on, and we're seeing exactly what it all means. Central America will never become a part of America unless we throw a coup. And who else but the United States would have the audacity to listen to the Pentagon and go and send like close to 3,800 more troops to the border? Here's the story of an ugly Brady. I'm serious. Hold up, people. Let's get this story together, because obviously this is coming from CNBC. All right, and what you guys realize is, all right, the Pentagon announced Sunday a deployment of about 3,800 troops to the United States border with Mexico, as Cheeseburger continues to press through the need for stronger border security amid a surge of migrants from Central America. Why would they come here if we were not the cause of it? Don't you think that if it wasn't the cause, I mean, before MS-13 was deported into those areas, that we made a habit of what we put there, from Bush, Obama to Cheeseburger right about now? All right? MS-13 is laughing at Cheeseburger, saying, man, your walls are squat. Your laws are minimal. You don't own nothing here. They are a part of a revolution that defies Cheeseburger. And more importantly, they are defying the world. So I got to give it up to MS-13 for simply pushing the caravans all the way up here to let Cheeseburger know that, yeah, you screwed up. And here's your mistake in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it because Mexico's not paying for the fucking wall. But your taxes may inevitably do so. Oh, yeah, you can sit up and say, oh, my taxes are coming. I'm getting this so-and-so this much back. I'm getting so-and-so this much back from the IRS. Yeah, right. They're going to chip you for that wall, whether you want to or not. 3,800 troops, though, to the Mexican border. Waste of military resources. We want to pull everything back from out of Syria and Iran. We want to look at Iran. Okay, we want to look at Iraq. I mean, like, we got permission to do so. Like, we put people under a microscope. What kind of guy complex is that? Come on. You mean to tell me that we're, complacent with that idea? That we need to watch other people? That we need to, no. We need a babysitter to tan the hide a Cheeseburger because he needs to be watched. All right, he really does. He needs to be watched. Okay, now in addition to the over 4,400 troops that are already there, troop deployment, which was approved by the Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan on January 11th, will last for 90 days. The border mission includes mobile surveillance capability, as well as the emplacement of approximately 150 miles of concertina wire between the ports of entry. The Pentagon first approved the deployment of active duty troops to the Mexico border in October on the heels of the United States midterm congressional elections. Cheeseburger made the caravan approximately 3,500 Central Americans, migrants seeking asylum, as one of his prime targets ahead of the midterm elections, which all wound up being Democrat by the time we got into it. By the end of it, right? Right. Totally. Now, here's the fun part, people. Here's the fun part, okay? You got all these guys, got all these cats going down here. Because after the troops went down there, you also have military judges who don't know anything about immigration law. This was supposed to have started like around July of last year. And by December, they're supposed to have like caught up on some of the casework that they're supposed to have. So out of the casework that they have, 850 United States veterans have been deported. More than 300 children have been separated from their parents. Of those separated parents, 1,270 of them, about 1,270 of them, have been deported back into, say, Central America with no knowledge of where their kids are at this moment. Okay? The leader of the Black Caucus, okay, the Congressional Black Caucus, who is in charge of finding out what happened to those children, what happened to those, what has being happened to those kids and people that are still locked up in a paid for a lock-up system, detention center system, against migrants in which you, the taxpayer, is paying for. You want to pay for it? Keep going. Pay. Yeah, oh yeah, America, freedom ain't free in America. But it is costly. Imprisonment is costly. So in other words, everybody's taking like, you know, a good, say, $3 out of the, $3 to $4 out of the, no, let's make that $10 out of every check that they get. And it's going into that crap. I mean, come on. Think about it, people. Think about it. What are we actually doing here? We're making a stasis for the most recession-proof industry in the world. Incarceration. A moniker. Now that we come up with prison reform, there's a lot of black people getting out of it. They can vote, right? Not in Florida yet, but they can vote. But here's the thing. They're clearing those things out and they're making room for you, SA. That's right, cabrona. That's right, vendidos. That's right. They're making room for you. Because after they had failed to get the Monroe Doctrine, or Manifest Destiny as I like to call it, go rolling through, say, Central America, MS-13 is dug in and they ain't giving up crap. Now, when we look at this Maduro thing, I see the exact same thing as usual. Okay, let's throw somebody in that we trained. This Guaido cat, we trained him. Okay, the same way we trained Osama bin Laden, the same way we trained every other strong-armed dictator that basically became a rebel and dropped the freaking dollar. You drop the dollar. Look at Omar Gaddafi in Libya. They dropped the dollar. He gets whacked. Okay? Pakistan is close to, like, you know, they don't want to drop the dollar, but they damn should have wanted to try and do it. Okay? So, if bilateral choices, if any country decides to drop the dollar, then that gives the United States and the European Union that voted beside these jackasses the right to go in and take the country from them. Take their resources, sell it back to them at a higher price, and therefore we get it cut throat. Which means that everybody on the elite escapes, you know, escapes the Panama paper deficit that they already got going and continues to hide all of their millions and billions in offshore accounts, meaning that they will never pay taxes if Ocasio-Cortez has her way, challenging big rich people to be taxed after their first 10 million. Really? Alexandria, we have to look at beyond that and look at where they put their money. If we cannot tax the outsourced money that leaves this country, then what we should do is tax it coming back in, should they see to spend it. Yeah. In other words, there needs to be a tax tag on every dime that goes out of this country into a foreign land. Especially when they're hiring slaves to make the products that we use on a day-to-day freaking basis. Right or wrong. If not, return everything that you have in your house back to where you bought it. No, 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 no. We're not talking like, you know, Macy's. We're not talking like Sears. We're not talking Kmart. We're not talking to some 5 and dime store or the 99-cent store. No, actually return it to the place where it was made, like Vietnam, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Japan, that sort of thing. Now, if we could actually do that and get our money back from there, these people would be astoundingly pissed off. But they're paid good money. Unlike the people in the Fire Festival who threw away their life savings to pay the people that for an event that never happened because they were, well, let's see, grifted by a madman. And quite frankly, if you don't look at that from a small microcosm for what it is, then you can probably match it up to the bigger chunk of garbage that sits on Cheeseburger's neck and what comes from out of it. Okay? So as long as we have these crazy people doing this crazy crap here, you know, It's almost ridiculous to a certain extent of why we keep doing it and why we think we're doing better. How is it that you've been so dickmotized? Okay? I mean, dickmotized. I mean, come on, you got slapped in the face with one. Horribly. And you guys are still trying to grab it. Okay? And it's not happening. But I find it hilarious though, that American public will just assume that they're right about everything. About Cheeseburger being the leader, about how the NRA is like losing money behind this crap as well. But more importantly, how the elite can actually dominate, control, and if necessary, destroy your life and make it look like it's your fault. Come on, look at this Oxycontin thing that's happening. The people who make it are now looking into, say, like, you know, getting into the treatment of it. You know how many millions of people are going to be on that treadmill making these guys rich over and over and over and over. And yet still, Cheeseburger had the nerve to sit there and say, you know, we're better than the elites. We're more elite than the elite. Really. If you are so much more elite than the elite and you're stuck on opiates and you're waiting for these same jackasses who made the opiates for you in this country, okay? When our drug making outpaces the drugs that are coming into the country, that says we do have a problem. But when you are making the majority of the problems with that drug, okay, and then going to have the nerve to come back and say, oh yeah, let's get into the treatment of this and make more drugs. You guys are forgetting the quote, you must remain sick in order for us to treat you, so therefore you can stay on this treadmill for the rest of your stupid little insignificant lives. And you will do it. Why? Because it's only making them richer and keeping you stupid. Go ahead. What? Just go right past it. Go right past it. All right? Let me give this to you in a nutshell. God is perfect. Man is not man-made whiskey, but God-made pot. So why are you letting those who bootleg put you out of business? Why are you going to sit there and keep continuing to support the initiative of freeing marijuana in this country, knowing full well that if that happens, Big Pharma would be very, very crossed in trying to figure out how to combat it. Now, if you got a whole bunch of rich people basically buying it all out, they could be like the next new millionaires and have a chokehold on the industry again. I say this to you now, black and brown and yellow people. Get out there and grow your damn farms. Get a federal government subsidy to help you with that, and therefore regulate not only the use of medical marijuana, but also occasional and, of course, conveniently smoked, cannabis, as well as cannabis that makes textiles, that makes rope, that makes clothing, that also makes food. Okay? All the things that hemp can do, we need to have control of. So therefore, we can bring the middle class back to some sort of stability. But if not, I don't want to be sitting in a neighborhood where every kid on a fucking 3 to 4 block radius is missing an arm, missing a leg, having birth defects. Because we build our industries around poor populations. Okay? We do. And when those people are getting sick from all the toxicity, from all the crap that we put out there, from Detroit to Louisiana to Alabama, yes, we are killing people. Yes, corporate America, you are killing people for the sake of profit. And you're putting profit above people. You don't believe me? It was more evident than anything else. Watch the Super Bowl, the ads were lackluster. Where was the one where it shows that medical marijuana saved a child's life? It aided a veteran. Okay? No one likes good stories like that anymore. No, nobody wants to see progress that helps another human being. As a matter of fact, we want to see progress that sustains that human being's ability to stay in that progress, stay ever encapsulated in just that. Just to be somewhat free, but I can't have too many operations. I can't do this, I can't do that without having those American-made drugs which are funneled in from from a Norwegian mobster gang that makes a bunch of chemicals. And we buy them wholesale over here. Yeah, we do. Look at the bath salts. Look at bath salts. Trace where bath salts came from. And yeah, those Norwegian people, good fine white people up there, those bureaucratic crackers, poisoning America. Not only that, but they're also Fruit Looping your email accesses as well for like what they call Get Trump Care. Nice. Nice. But I put it to you this way, people. I'll put it to you this way. For as long as there are evils in this world that are making money on the top of people's misery, we had better learn to fight better than this. Contacting your senator, contacting your congressman, contacting the people who are responsible for actually taking a look at this and saying foul cry and not bring any justice to this is your method of madness. You can't go out there and be mob militant and destroy everything. No, it would not work. Okay, breaking glasses and stealing stuff and looting and whatnot, sure, that's a favorite pastime. But do that in rich neighborhoods. Don't do it in your own. Make sure you have a plan for doing that particular type of rioting. If not, 9 times out of 10, you guys are going to fail. But here we are, people, a day away from what is known to be known as the State of the Union address, the mother of all addresses. Will the undocumented show up and will ICE arrest them? Especially since they worked for a cheeseburger. Will 21 Savage ever make another record? Will he actually, be deported? But more importantly, what's going to happen on Black Mystery Month when 95% of you are going to forget our past accomplishments? Where are the 50% of you that are looking forward to seeing better? So, about this Black Mystery Month around here, I'm going to be focusing on what we can and what we already do. Instead of like saying, oh, well, let's go back into the past and say, okay, well, this was slavery here and there was slavery there. No, I'm looking for past achievements. Hook or by crook. And done diligently in the right way. So therefore, this entire month is going to be Blackalicious like you've never heard it before. And I mean everything. So let's put old Cheeseburger as a blackface today and make sure that he realizes that his comments on African American History Month are blasé compared to what his father and him did not want black people living at any of his properties, but were sued by the government for violating their rights. There's your caring master, all right? Say good morning and hello to everybody today. We're in our new spot, people, so therefore we're saying hello and good morning to everyone that we can. Mirage Charlton, good morning. Many prayers to you. Hopefully you are doing well. Michael Durham, good morning. Kevin Frau, good morning. Akeisha Lewis, good morning. Alicia, Talents Galore, Bowie, good morning. Eva Santiago, good morning. Who else we got here? Sergio Mertine, good morning. Sarah said, good morning. Richard Onze Ozwu, good morning. Right. Jason Anthony, good morning. Atun, good morning. Walter Jenkins, good morning. The man who remembers. That's right. The inspiration for the funky booty. It's usually on the noon here. Juan Garcia, good morning. Stephanie Rivas, good morning. Ernest Franklin, good morning. Glenn Covenant, good morning. Okay. Let's see who else. Dulce Melody Orozco, good morning. That's right. Gloria Anderson, good morning. Rodney White, good morning. You don't get no prayers. Vic McNewman, good morning. Let's see who else we got here. Just tell me who you are. Doesn't matter. Oh my God. Osalemo Ferreira Santos, good morning. Prince Beloy, good morning. Oh yes, oh yes. Yuka Matsuda Taniguchi, good morning. Good morning, that's right. Nate, good morning. Taguchi Nakako, good morning. Stasio Martinez, good morning. Jay Kwan, good morning. Bridget Larkins, good morning. Oh my goodness, there's so many people. Oh, Jeezy Pete. Anthony Mason, good morning. Nikitha Akburn, good morning. Koji Yamamoto, good morning. And let's see. Stephen Dickerson, good morning. Walter Wiz-Whitey, good morning. I also have to give a shout out to Walter Wiz-Whitey this morning for being an instrumental person in helping me move on grip of my stuff. And not only that, but also providing good smoke that day. Also, Mercedes Bartolo, good morning. Professor Nejir Daring, good morning. Sasha, good morning. I don't even know your last name. That's funny. Oh my God. Kareem Powell, Dunsburg, good morning. Backside, people. What's on the backside? You know what's happening on the backside. 453 of you do like what I do here, so that's a good thing. Also, good morning. Let's see. MC Prowse, Lucella Testa, good morning. Manny Gonzalez, Reina, good morning. Kevin Hickman Sr., good morning. Augustus William Jordan Wood III, good morning. Also, Napoleon Couscous, good morning. LaRock, good morning. Also, Tom Life 9, Larson, good morning. Charles Moore Sr., good morning. Bishop Peter, good morning. Kuba Wu-Tang, Kuba, good morning. That's right. That's right. Also, Jean-Francois Steele, Maria Sanseri, good morning. Maria Villarreal, good morning. That's right. Clint, good morning. Taz Spitter, good morning. Lita Shakti, good morning. Monica Acosta Zamora, good morning. Margarita Sanchez, good morning. That's right. Terry D, good morning. Anki Boogie, good morning. Yes, it is a great morning. And most importantly, a very sufficient morning indeed. It is our first day here in our new spot. And want to thank everybody for coming through. Cool-headed crew and so forth are here. Make sure you pick up your book. It's located on Amazon Kindle. You can read it for free, or you can get one and support me. That's how it works, people. And make sure you get to our website. You could get a cash mug. You could get a cash mug, one that's filled with cash. All you got to do is just buy it, and you're entered into the contest for it. I want to make sure I have a contest for it. A mug full of dough for those who buy. That's right. And most importantly, I do got to say good morning to my wayward orphans, the wayward orphans and so forth. That's right. Let's see. Angela Marie Mooney, good morning. Deborah Myers, good morning. Right. Bray Mason, good morning. Jerome Brown, good morning. Ocho Baku, good morning. Kionis Marco, good morning. James Nelson, good morning. Trisha Squires, good morning. Stack Spence, good morning. Brian Lewis, good morning. That ends all our mornings for the morning of this morning. Anyway, as we know, people, as you know, this is 11 days into it. I want to make sure you guys understand that we need to do more than just sit up and be nothing more than, placards for somebody else's excuse. And that person's excuse only to seriously harm humanity and human rights. So get out there, put a smile on somebody's face. Make sure that you share some part of your humanity with them so you can lift their burden. And when we do that, we share what is known as a human trait called humanity. Do that, I guarantee you can't screw this job up, but you can make somebody have a better day. That's all it all. That's what it really means. If you can do God's work in that sense, then you don't have any problems. But needless to say, we got a lot of problems. Human beings. Precisely. We can do better. If not better, be the best that there is, the best there ever will be, and the best there was. So, know your past, enjoy your today, but remember this though, people. Tomorrow is never set until you start your actions today to prove that tomorrow is today. All right? And if not, you're wasting your time. Get out there and do the work. This has been KTNG 860am.org, Free Thought Radio, Unified Community Broadcasting, Talking Soul Radio for all the Colorado Springs in the world. Wishing you all Peaceful day. Love, peace, and chicken grease. All power to the people. All people to a purpose. Peace. Right.